Hello, and welcome to Marking Out with My Girlfriend.
This is my girlfriend, Erin.
This is my girlfriend, Kat.
And sometimes chat makes not jokes, and you know what? I'm okay with it. It's literally right there on the screen. We can't get
I
away
know
from
it
it.
is. It's right in the middle of my screen.
Yep. So anyway, how's about Double or Nothing 2021? There, bud.
How's about it?
Yeah.
I think it might be the best pay-per-view since sliced bread.
You
I'm
sure about that there?
pretty sure, actually. It was a
Okay.
great pay-per-view.
It really was. Thank you, Aitsu.
Okay, so I've got a 1080 monitor over on this side, and you're about 3/4 of the way down the screen so far.
Oh, well, no, it's not on the stream chat, though. It's like
I know,
chat is...
but it's
So,
still on mine.
okay, you could deal with it. Fucking
I don't wanna.
suck it up. So,
It's not something.
I assume a milkshake through a straw because we're wholesome.
No, a beer.
Okay, well, gotta call it something that's not beer so we don't get beat down by the Bezos police.
Isn't he in space yet?
God, I hope he doesn't come back. Just
I
leave
swear
him.
he's gonna go up there and say, I'm the richest person in space, and all of a sudden a fucking alien oligarch gonna show up and we're gonna be in a war.
Yeah, an alien oligarch who goes around to planets and scans all of the life forms and then mines for copper and then fucking dips.
God, what kind of jerk would do that?
A traveler. We've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky.
I've been playing 80 minutes. I don't know if that counts as a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, like I've been enjoying it. That's what I'm gonna do after we finish streaming.
Yeah,
So
probably same actually.
let's start. You already know our thoughts on the going home show before Dynamite.
Yeah,
before
and how
before
rad
before
all
Double or
that was.
Nothing, because we were live for that. So let's talk about the NWA Women's Title match.
Holy shit.
Holy
was the
shit, that was the
pre-show.
buy-in.
This was added the Wednesday before the show, and
It was,
they fucking killed it.
and like you got to see Serena Deeb putting Riho into like dozens of holds. You got some real heel energy from Serena Deeb because like nobody in AEW is gonna boo Riho. Oh,
Really, no.
we didn't really talk about this. The crowd at Double or Nothing.
There was a crowd at Double or Nothing.
There was a huge crowd.
Okay, so you know all those times for the past year where we've complained that things didn't feel right or, stuff was kind of starting to drag? Oh, we just need a fucking crowd.
Yeah, as it turns out, having a crowd there will really change the tone.
5,000 people just shouting stuff makes everything more exciting.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to when they can start doing shows with bigger crowds, like on the road. I know they're going on the road now, so like, I guess they're only going to states that are completely open.
Yeah, so they're doing Florida, Texas, and North Carolina right now.
They could probably also do Illinois now, because Chicago is completely open.
Chicago is booked for, I want to say, All Out this year.
Okay.
It's either All Out or Full Gear. I can't remember which one.
I'm trying to think. They could probably, I don't know. Let's pick another place in Chicago, in Illinois that they can go. Peoria.
Schaumburg.
Neither of those places are somewhere I'd want to go if I was a wrestling promotion.
I go to Schaumburg every year. What are you talking about? Anyway.
Erin, we're not talking about Adepticon.
I know.
So anyway, this match was... Okay, so this match was electric. Because the crowd was electric.
Mm-hmm. It's really where we got that first taste of what the night was going to be like with everyone there.
It was just like there were so many like really good technical moves. I hope that like they can keep doing this NWA Women's Title thing on AEW because like Serena Deeb is very good and she yes.
Serena Deeb isn't the NWA Women's Champion anymore.
Who'd she drop it to?
She lost it to Camille last week on NWA Power.
Oh.
I think it's Power. Then, or was it the pay-per-view? I think it was the pay-per-view they did. I don't remember the name of the pay-per-view. But yeah, there's a new NWA Women's Champion.
Neat. So we might get to see more.
I would love to see Camille get some time on AEW, totally.
I'd love to see more women get some time on AEW.
Yeah, that would be real fucking great, but we're not here to talk about that right now.
Hopefully with the second show. Fingers crossed, TK, hit me up. Hire...
We'll be the announcers for it.
No, we won't. If there's anyone that they should hire to be the announcer, it's Rita Scott.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, there's also an all-women's NWA pay-per-view coming up.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yep.
So
I'm going to stop cutting you off now.
Okay, thank you. Are you going to do it again while I'm saying this? Dude. So, this was a really fun match to watch because it's been, like, you know, seeing Riho at a pay-per-view, seeing Riho with a crowd because she's very over with the AEW crowds. There was, like, a whole fan fest for this and everything. Like, it was as close to back to normal as things have been for the wrestling world in a long time.
Definitely. It was a sight.
And, like, for the people in the crowds, they're there at their own risk. You know, like, I just hope that they choose to isolate, but odds are if you're choosing to be in a big crowd like that, you're probably also not choosing to isolate.
I haven't heard any word on, like, outbreaks tied to the event, because you'd think something like that would get blown up.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, you know, they did everything they could, and hopefully they don't get burned.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm just thinking about it, like, so New Jersey right now is at 70% of people with at least the first dose. Phenomenal.
So is Ontario. Finally.
But, yeah, but Ontario's done a lot more first doses and a lot fewer second doses.
Definitely, yeah. We've been pushing off the second doses here.
Although Emma's appointment did get moved up to the 30th.
I'm having my fingers crossed mine can, so...
Maybe some trips across the border this summer when Biden and
if mine gets bumped up, it'll be closer into August.
Okay, so maybe for the fall.
Maybe for fall, yeah.
Maybe we can have a bonfire for Halloween.
I have a fire pit.
That's fair. So anyway. Now, we get to the opening match for the pay-per-view. JR gets his little JR special song.
Because he's JR, they just do that.
And then we have a match of The Machine, Brian Cage, versus Hangman Adam Page in the most confusingly last-named match of the night.
But what a way to start.
Oh my god, what a way to start. First of all, Taz on commentary getting razzed on a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, Brian Cage coming out in his stupid little Terminator outfit.
It's wonderful, and you know it.
I mean, it was fun. I actually genuinely enjoyed the fact that he came out in that outfit. Like,
Oh yeah.
It was exciting. It was silly. It was exactly what wrestling is supposed to be. It didn't take itself too seriously. It acknowledged that this is all about fun and spectacle, and wearing Party City Halloween robot armor to look like Cyborg from Teen Titans is exactly that.
And then Hangman Adam Page came out, and oh my god.
Hangman coming out was deafening.
Like, we had volume control and had trouble keeping up with it.
Yeah, because the people love Hangman Adam Page.
Mm-hmm. He's the top babyface of the company. There's no question about that.
So we got a lot of cowboy shit chants.
Yo, I missed those.
We got some JR isms, like how he called Hangman tougher than a $2 steak.
Yep. Everything felt right.
Yeah, it was good.
And to go along with this, Daly's place is an outdoor venue, so you got the sun shining and everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh god!
And this match was at golden hour,
and Hangman
looked gorgeous.
So good. He looked. He did have a shiny butt.
Yep.
So we specifically watched this pay-per-view with like the Polycule General chat, which meant this was the first time that Ray watched wrestling with us.
They are hooked now.
Yep. They have a crush on every boy, but like
who
gender
really?
and sorts of crushes.
Oh god! Wait till Kip Sabian comes back.
Oh my god, that's a good point. No, it's like exciting, and like we got someone new into wrestling with this. This was like, it shows how much a crowd can really take a show to that next level that has been missing for over a year now.
Yep.
So, as much as I think it's maybe a little premature to have crowds back, it was nice to have them back for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, there's a little bit of anxiety watching that many people that close together again. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to go away for a few years, really, to be perfectly honest.
I think I'll be okay after a little while. But, like, it's mostly just getting reaccustomed to it. There was a bit of anxiety watching your face. Erica is drunk, I assume.
I'm going to guess that. But also, yes, I have anxiety looking at my face.
Yeah, that's...
What are you going to do about it?
We're trannies. That's how it works.
God damn it, Cat. Could you not have used the other word?
Fine. We're transsexuals. That's how it works.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to Page and Cage.
Do you want me to take that a third time?
No, I don't want to see what you'll do a third time.
Okay. Well, Erica got the third one.
God damn it. We went full triple T here. So, in this match, we also had the hint of Cage going face a little bit more.
Yes, because Team Taz comes out to help him out. And Cage does not want their help.
No. He throws away the FTW title that was passed to him by Starks. He tells Hook to get lost. And it ends up costing him the match. Page comes out on top, back in the top 5. And afterwards, they're having a little bit of an argument in the ring. with Starks pointing out, "Don't hit me, my neck is sore."
Yeah, which leads to Hangman getting the buckshot lariat and the 3 count.
Yep.
Out of 5 stars, what do you give that match?
4.
How many fractions of stars are we going?
Oh, geez, we're getting to fractions.
Yes.
You can go up to a 9th.
What? Erin, don't make this confusing. I'm gonna do halves.
You're added fractions.
I'm gonna do halves and quarters.
Okay.
I have like maybe 4 1/4.
Okay, yeah, 4 1/4 is good.
It's not like a barn burner match. It opened the show. It opened the show hot.
Yep.
I mean, like,
it's the kind of curtain open you really want because it gets everyone going.
That's a similar rating to what I would have given the buy-in.
Okay.
I think both of those were like top tier matches. I give Hangman's face at Golden Hour 5 out of 5 stars. I give the Machine Brian Cage's Machinery 4.5 stars.
Okay.
The rest of the match 4 1/4.
Okay, but the Asai moonsault that Hangman did to the outside, that's 6 out of 5 stars.
Absolutely.
I've seen some stills of that and like, oh, that's something you can get printed.
So high up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, like, first of all, he's going down to the outside of the ring, so he's already pretty high up to start with. But, like, with the spring up off of, like, he was, like, it felt like he was in the air for so long.
Yep.
It was incredible.
And I think we touched on this during the live stream last week, where with the crowd in place, they have less room at ringside to work, it looks like.
Yeah, so one of the things that I noticed is they still had the wrestlers on certain sides of the ring.
Yep.
Which I think is generally just kind of a good addition to the way that you should be doing shows.
Yeah, one, you get like the lower tier guys out there. So the dark and the dark elevation people, you can get them out there and they get noticed more, but also they can lead fan reactions a little bit.
Right, they're set up and primed to okay, so like when you go to like a comedy show or a taping of something like, I don't know, the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a warm-up comedian, someone to like prime the audience. This, like, having the wrestlers there ringside is a great way to prime the crowd. You've got people who are in effect being paid to be hype about stuff.
Yep.
It makes the crowd more excited. It just it works, and you've got spots you can do because they are trained performers. I think it's like a best of both worlds kind of situation. I know like AEW kind of a little bit set this up with that time ages ago, 2 years ago now, where they had the Rock and Rollers by ringside, and they did the spot, like they had Ricky Morton do a spot.
Oh, the Rock and Roll Express?
Yeah. That's the one I meant. The Rock and Roll Express, and Ricky Morton does his little spot, and it's like, yay, Ricky Morton, you're ancient, why are you still doing this? And then we come to find out he's just doing it. Like, this isn't a one-time appearance, he's just wrestling still.
He still wrestles a pretty decent schedule.
If by
so
decent,
weird.
You mean a very, very, like, he wrestles on the indies, like, most weekends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really freaking cool.
So anyway, I think that addition also, it definitely leaves some buffer space for social distancing and stuff like that to make sure that the wrestlers are still relatively safe from COVID.
Yeah, no, there is a side of the ring now where the wrestlers are safer to go to. like you said, you have trained professionals there who can do spots, which they did take advantage of on this show. And
it worked really well.
Yeah. And you get a little bit of fan interaction too. Like Fuego del Sol was given a sign by a fan. That the sign read basically like "Make Fuego all elite," and it's just covered in signatures of fans and wrestlers alike.
Everyone wants Fuego to get that contract.
I want Fuego to get that contract.
I think at this point it would be hilarious if he didn't. In a mean way, but it would be very hilarious if it's okay, we're on tour again. Thank you for your services. Bye.
Yeah, like that is entirely up to management. I think it should at least be offered. If Fuego doesn't want to take it and wants to do his own indie thing, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, he's a big name now.
Yeah, much bigger than Joe Alonso. Who was Sammy's other friend who showed up for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Or,
and then,
like, I mean, like, there's a lot of people who've come and gone over the course of everything. Shug D was there for a while, and then...
Yep. Lady Frost was there for a couple tapings.
Yeah.
Lady Frost is with NWA now. So.
What else? Willow Nightingale's there now.
Yep. She's so cool to see.
I know,
just
I'm very
always.
excited. Willow is always so excited and happy. She's one of, like, the... I don't know. Like, I know there are the wrestlers whose gimmick is that they're always smiling and everything like that. But, like, Willow seems just genuinely really happy to be there.
I make the connection every time I see her. When she comes out, she, like, waves at the camera. It's like... She looks like Dragonite from the original Red and Blue. That sprite. I love it.
Okay, Willow has, like, really, really adorable, like, puppy dog energy, where it's, like, everything is really exciting for her, and I love that. It's just, it's great. Between this episode, sorry, not to immediately jump onto a tangent, did we talk about the life of Edith Surreal on the show yet?
Okay. No.
Because Willow was also in that.
Yes, for the funniest interaction I could have ever thought of.
There's a lot of very funny moments in that. Oh my god. It's so good. I mean, like, it's very open and honest and refreshing. And also, Edie talks a lot about fonts.
Yes.
Which, like, I get it. I went out and bought, like, 4 display fonts the very next day, which I've been, batting around to produce new logos for Chicks with Dice. Thinking we might maybe look at putting up a new logo for this show and for Unsound Theories eventually, but
yeah, totally. They're less priority because they already have logos, so...
I mean, everything already has logos. It's just, I want to spiff them up. I want to try my best to do some design work and create something neat.
Totally. And I can't wait to see what you come up with.
I mean, we've already got a shirt idea.
Yes, we do. Speaking of, I did pre-order the new Edith shirt.
Good to know. Let me pull up designer.
Okay, so I'm going to tell the funny story while you do that.
Please do.
And that during the show, they want to have like a Galentine's night. So they rent a room at this hotel, but it's a couple's hotel. You have to be a couple to get in, like romantically. So they told them, yeah, the 4 of us are polyamorous lesbians. And this is cool. We have lots of partners, but it's just us 4 showing up for this. And I'm sitting here listening to this like, okay, for the future, all you have to do is say, we're all together. That's the actual poly response.
Yep. Okay, so the shirt that idea that I had was based on the Anxious Millennial Cowboy shirt that AEW sold.
Oh yes, yeah.
So we have Anxious Post Imperial Pilot, which will make sense if you listen to Chicks with Dice, which you should. That said, I think everyone who's currently in chat probably does.
He probably either listens to it or is on it.
Yeah. Or edits the one shots. So anyway, back on topic. We had the AEW World Tag Team Championship title match between challengers Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston and the Young Bucks with Don Callis and Brandon Cutler.
I legitimately thought Mox and Kingston had this.
I did too.
Until the very last minute.
It was so well done. I don't think I've watched a match that was like that nail biting. And like, oh my god, can they do it? Can they do it? Can they do it? I mean, like, there's just like there were so many moments. It's like Moxley gets the paradigm shift and is Cutler,
just super kicks all over the place.
Cutler being a lackey. The fucking
getting destroyed.
The 5 BTE triggers that it took to take down Jon Moxley.
Oh my god. Okay, so kayfabe, Jon Moxley was out hurt after this. At the lights out no DQ match he had with Kenny. Kenny showed up following Wednesday, unable to wrestle. He wasn't cleared. And like covered in ice packs and cuts and bruises, and Mox was fine. Moxley got injured. That's what the fucking BT triggers do.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's literally it should be called the fucking CTE trigger. There we go. CTE, chronic trauma encephalopathy. It's brain damage from getting concussed.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Really, I'm gonna tweet at the Young Bucks, hey, maybe call it the CTE trigger after beating up Mox's entire brain.
Yeah, no, that's what they did, jeez.
I mean, realistically, probably not a great thing to joke about. Given wrestlers' history with a CTE.
Okay, but we can go back to that specific moment and see where their knees were and see how it's done. So I feel less bad about it.
I know that the Young Bucks are safe workers. I know that like Mox is not hurt. But at the same time, probably in poor taste to make jokes about something that is a very serious issue in wrestling.
Yeah. So yeah, they so Mox and Kingston put on a great match. Fuck the Young Bucks.
Yeah, fuck the Bucks. We got a we got a sour face Carl Anderson run in.
Yep.
he tried to come out and distract the referee, and then you see Frankie Kazarian, the Elite Hunter, running through the crowd like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, I'm Frankie Kazarian, bitch.
Oh my god. I love this character he's doing.
It's a very good character. It's a really good pivot from SCU because it doesn't take Kaz out of the picture. It doesn't bury them after a really good feud, but SCU is no more. So CD can hang him up if he so chooses.
Yeah. And like, okay, so they've had that whole narrative through the BTs over the past year or two where Kazarian has these anger issues, and now they're just front and center.
And he's got a good outlet for him.
And they're pointed directly at the Elite.
Who deserve it. At this point, they deserve it.
I don't feel bad for them.
If you had told me at Double or Nothing last year that I would want them to get beat up, I probably wouldn't believe you.
No.
But I think it all started with Hangman leaving the Elite.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it started when Hangman wanted to leave, and they wouldn't let him.
They immediately became less likable when he wanted to leave.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, this match was just otherworldly good.
Yeah, hard-hitting, great story being told. They brought the friggin' shoes back.
They brought the shoes back.
Yep. And yeah, no, I'm just left thinking, fuck the Bucks. God damn.
Oh my god, they're such assholes, and they do it so well.
But also, I love you very much, thank you.
Oh.
Because I know the Bucks listen to this still.
Yeah, they do, I know. So, when we, the Young Bucks, they're assholes.
Yep.
I mean, we've known they were assholes ever since they started booking those multi-man tag matches to spite you.
Yep. To spite me entirely.
Explicitly you, yes.
I haven't even got a royalty check for booking that.
I know. It's a shame. You really do deserve that money, Erin.
Yep. I will also take merch.
No, you'll take money.
I will also take merch.
Money.
I can't afford merch.
Okay, take money to afford merch.
But this just cuts out the middleman.
Are you gonna spend all of the money on merch?
Depends what the check is. If it's $40, then yeah.
Okay, I figured it's at least for for your creative work that technically makes you a writer. You should, because it's televised, be getting SAG minimum.
What is SAG minimum then?
So for a writer credit, I guess it would be Writers Guild of America minimum. Okay, what's the WGA minimum for a writer?
And I can tell you if it's more or less than what Braun Strowman's asking.
So you should be getting $4,975 per week.
That's less. Braun Strowman wants 5 figures to do indie shows.
Braun Strowman is not going to get booked or signed anywhere by asking for those things.
I don't think he wants to.
You think he's hanging him up? The old choo-choo train's hanging him up?
No. What seems to be happening, okay, completely different tangent, is with the layoffs
before we get into this, because I do want to talk about the WWE layoffs, but I want to finish this Moxley Kingston versus Young Bucks match by asking you how many stars you give it.
5 3/8.
We're only doing quarters.
5 1.5 quarters.
That's still 3/8.
Yeah, it took me a second to map it out.
God damn it, Erin. Okay. Well, I give it 5 1/4.
Okay. Fair enough.
It was a lot. Okay, so WWE layoffs as our mid-match tangent.
All the layoffs have been happening over the past forever. There was news that came out recently that Aleister Black is wanted back in the company by some people. So the thought is that they're releasing a lot of high-priced contracts. And then later on, offering them contracts back at a much lower rate is what they could end up doing here.
Yes. That said, given how badly he's been mistreated, I would suspect that Aleister Black is bound for AEW.
We'll see. Like, Aleister Black is...
There's also the fact that they did fire Zelina Vega for speaking out against the company.
Yeah.
And they are a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it might be... not AEW, Jesus. WWE does a lot of retaliatory bullshit.
Yeah.
So, this may literally just be retaliation, too.
Yeah, and you know what? all props to Aleister Black. He's been keeping pretty tight-lipped. He hasn't said anything bad against WWE. He's not going around blowing off steam. He's done a couple live streams where he goes over stuff like new entrance music he was going to get, new storylines he had pitched, and like all this different stuff that was
behind
in
the scenes. It's still So, you know, bare minimum, that says he's not going to go on every podcast and air your dirty laundry, which is something you want from a new hire.
Yep.
You know, I think he would be a good fit in AEW. Speaking of other people who got fired who I think should come to AEW, I still believe that the Iconics should.
Yes.
I think Ruby Riott should.
At least pass through. I need to see Heidi Lovelace again, if that's the name she's going to go with.
Fucking Lana.
Yeah, I definitely expect to see Lana come in.
At the very least, we'll see CJ Perry somewhere in a match. With what my ideal scenario is that they sign CJ Perry, formerly known as Lana, and they immediately set up an intergender tag match between her and Miro and Kip and Penelope, because there's already heat there, and it works out.
And just throw them together and be awesome, and I want to see it. That relies on Kip healing up really quick from his surgery. Like I said, I can't wait for him to be back.
CJ and Miro and NWA, oh my gosh. There's just like... There's a lot of people who have been released in this year that, like, would be a good fit, would make for some really interesting TV.
Yeah. And, like, even if they don't stick around permanently, you know, couple months, 3 months of just putting out a storyline like Matt Cardona did.
Right.
Like, that'd just be cool.
Sorry, do we want to have our next mid-match tangent be Matt Cardona?
We can, yes.
Okay, cool. So the next match was the Casino Battle Royale, with the winner getting an AEW World Championship shot. Now, this is the match where Ray showed up.
Yep.
So we got to see... Ray was a big fan of Private Party because they wrestled in khakis.
Yeah, you know, that's a look you don't see too often. It's kind of difficult to move around in those, even when you get them tailored.
Yep. Like, the Casino Battle Royale was a lot of fun.
Oh, even before it started, when Max Caster came out, the last of the first group, he's doing his rap stuff, and he's like dissing on Christian Cage, saying he used to be better when he had an edge. He is on Matt Sydal about him falling off the top rope last year. He leaves Hobbs alone because Hobbs will kill him,
which is smart.
And he gets to Dustin Rhodes, and he's like, "Dustin, look at me. Dustin, look at me." And Dustin looks up. "You're ugly." Like, you son of a bitch. You warmed that up so well just to call him ugly.
And it's also neat to see, like, I didn't know how over Max Caster was because I don't particularly care for the gimmick.
I do. So but I had a feeling.
Really over with the crowds. Which is nice. Oh gosh. Who else did we have as the second group? There's Matt Hardy.
Isaiah Cassidy. Preston Vance, number 10. Nick Camarado. And Serpentico, who's there for a cup of coffee.
Yep. Serpentico, who was there just to get thrown out.
Yeah. Now, that's an unfortunate reality to a lot of this match. it's a lot of guys just showed up to get thrown out like immediately.
That there was some really good back and forth though in this. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, the Varsity Blondes had some really good spots.
Mm-hmm.
The Hardy family had some pretty good spots.
Yeah, but Vance was only in for a little bit. Colt Cabana was only in for a little bit. Evil Luna was only in for a little bit.
Anthony Bowens is only in for a couple seconds.
Yep, which I'm really upset about that one. I love Anthony Bowens. He's great.
I know. He's got really cool Pride merch too.
Mm-hmm. I have so much Pride merch to order.
Yeah, no, there's... Okay, AEW has some pretty good Pride merch this year. Just don't order Cody's or the generic AEW one.
Definitely get Dustin's.
Definitely get Dustin's. Because he's got a trans kid, so he's got a really, really blatant trans pride flag on his, and it's like...
Oh yeah, it's great. I love it.
Like, what a good dad.
Mm-hmm. Nyland's got one.
Yeah,
that, like
Nyland's
trans
got one.
and pansexual one flags
Erin's
on it.
gonna get that one because those are her flags.
I'm gonna get both those ones.
Yeah, no, Bowens is pretty good. Cody's is
Like I get like he has the corporate face, and so they would ask him first, but it's like, dude, no.
So the other thing that my absolute favorite part of this match was finding out that Penta El Zero Miedo has been Jokerified.
Yep.
He's gone full Joker. We live in a society.
I mean, his brother keeps getting injured by jackasses with title belts, so I would too.
Pentagon looked at those tweets and said, "I'm going to turn into the Joker," and then did it literally.
Yep. A better Joker than Ray Ray. Yep.
I'm trying to think of a Batman comic. I'll think of it. Keep going with the description of this match, please.
Yeah. So with the Hearts, the third group to come out, we had the Varsity Blondes, as said. We had Colt Cabana, Anthony Bowens, and Pentagon. Or Penta.
Yes. So you got it right. It was so later on backstage. Penta took one of the photographer's cameras and recreated the Killing Joke like cover picture.
Yeah.
Which was very good. I appreciate Penta like being a complete dork.
Oh yeah, totally.
But at the same
it's
time,
the greatest part about modern wrestling is like, they're all a bunch of nerds.
They're all such huge nerds. Like every single one of them is like, yeah, I like comic books. Yeah, I like video games. Yeah, I like.
Yeah.
There's a group of them playing fucking Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Boo.
But they're playing a tabletop role-playing game. There's a bunch of them that stream. Like, they're just a bunch of nerds.
Absolutely. Oh, Colt Cabana was also there. He got eliminated.
Yep. Yeah, and the Spades were the final group where we had Jungle Boy, Mark Quinn, Erin Solo, who didn't stick around very long, Evil Uno, and Lee Johnson.
Big shotty Lee Johnson.
Yeah, Lee Johnson did not really get a reaction in this match.
No, he did not. It was hard because, like, look at the people he was up against.
Yeah, like, he's coming out with Jungle Boy and Evil Uno.
and Evil Uno. So first of all, the entire crowd sang the Jungle Boy song. Which is just Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. So you had an entire crowd singing Baltimora, which is a very... It turns out, the person who suggested that song and that they get that song is Joey Janela.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty neat.
Janela's pretty good at that kind of thing.
Absolutely. You have Evil Uno coming out, and this is like the first time that he's had a chance in front of a crowd where the Dark Order's been over and not getting booed.
Oh my god, are they over? Like, was it this one or a different one? Where did they come out? It was on Dynamite.
But like, even just when Evil Uno came out, they cut to the crowd and the entire crowd was doing the Dark Order hand.
Yep.
And it was just
they're
like,
over.
Oh, that's like at this. Like, I know a lot of circumstances for at least part of how they got over are not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'd be this over.
They wouldn't be faces if not for last year.
It was simultaneously heartwarming and heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was like a really... It was... I'm about to cry. It was a beautiful moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they deserve that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no, Lee Johnson got nothing.
But then we also found out who the Joker is, and we don't mean Penta this time.
No, not.
Okay. Do you remember our guesses for the Joker?
Yes. Lee Moriarty.
Mm-hmm.
You guessed... Who did you guess?
I said Naito, but really hoping for Ibushi.
And who was it?
Lio Rush.
Who came out of retirement.
Yeah.
And then immediately retired afterwards.
Yeah, he announced retirement last year, then got dragged into it, and it's wrestling. It does something to you when you get going on again. But I guess he got injured in this match where he's now like, okay, I'm actually going to retire. Like, the damage to my body is not worth my future like this.
Yeah, he'd basically have trouble walking for the rest of his life if he kept going.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to do that to yourself. I respect that decision to walk away.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, we got down to the final 6, which was Lio Rush, Private Party, Matt Hardy, Christian Cage, and Jungle Boy.
Gosh.
It was just like, there was a lot of like back and forth, and Private Party gets dumped out, Lio Rush gets dumped out. So we're down to... It was tense. It was very tense, because, you know, you're rooting for the Hardys to lose.
Oh yeah, definitely. You want them out of there. You want them to eat some crow.
Mm-hmm. So it comes down to the final 3. Christian, Matt Hardy, and Jungle Jack Perry.
Yep.
To use a JR name for him.
And Matt Hardy wasn't long for that 3-way.
No.
He was out.
They had like this moment where Matt Hardy was trying to convince Christian to team with him to take out Jungle Boy, and then they would face off against each other because they knew each other and everything like that. Jungle Boy is absolutely Ray's favorite. Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
without a doubt.
Christian is like, yeah, I'll do it. They get ready to go, and he immediately turns on Matt Hardy and dumps him out of the ring. And the crowd is just like, yeah! So, Erin, do you remember who we predicted to win?
Okay. I know I predicted Christian Cage, but I really wanted to see Jungle Boy win.
I also predicted Christian Cage.
Yep.
And we get to the final 2, and we're like, oh, were we right? Because it's Christian and Jungle Boy.
Oh my god!
And they just have this moment where the entire crowd is singing Jungle Boy's theme.
Mm-hmm.
And they have just like a massive amount of near eliminations. And you're like sitting there like, when's it gonna happen? Oh no!
You're so tense, you're not breathing, you're tied up in your body.
And then Jungle Boy finally manages a back suplex over the top rope for the win. And the crowd explodes.
we exploded.
Yes. It was definitely okay. So it was a battle royale designed to get Jungle Boy over, despite the fact that Jungle Boy is already over.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you told me the original plan was for Cage to win and they called an audible because they heard that reaction to Jungle Boy, I'd believe you. Like, that would be a smart move to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As far as I know, Jungle Boy was always the one to win, so I'm not going to start any rumors or anything.
Definitely don't want to start rumors about that.
Oh my god, that crowd.
Very, very, very lively. I could not imagine a better crowd for that.
No. Maybe a bigger one, but not better.
No. Okay, so what do you give the Battle Royal?
I'm gonna give the Battle Royal 4.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of fast eliminations.
I'm gonna give it, let's go with 3.75. Because I don't think it was the strongest match of the night, but Battle Royals almost never are, except for, when WWE does their yearly one for that event that I can't remember the name of.
Royal Rumble.
Thank you. The Royal Rumble. I genuinely could not remember the name.
That's fine.
Okay, so our next match was Homelander versus Anthony Ogogo.
This is my down point in the show.
Yes. As an aside, you should watch The Boys because Jensen Ackles is in it in the next season, and you should watch everything with Jackals in it. Think of all the jacking you can see. It's whenever Jensen makes a really weird acting choice, the Supernatural fandom refers to it as jackting.
Okay. Anyway.
So Cody comes out dressed like a motherfucking supervillain.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a guy who is the superhero in a movie where the supervillain is the good guy.
Yeah, no, it was kind of mixed messaging, but it was plastered in American iconography, so
it felt very like Megamind-ish.
Yeah.
Or The Boys-ish, or any other show. I guess like what's his fuck? From Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The assholeman who was in comic book canon a former wrestler. Go figure.
Okay. Yeah.
This was. It did absolutely nothing for me. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm in Canada. Maybe it's because I'm a dirty commie. But all that American iconography did absolutely nothing for me.
They very much did the John Cena thing, where, like, we're gonna plaster this all in America and God, so you can't boo it now, or you're booing America and God. Yeah.
You know what? America and God might deserve to get booed.
Yeah. And in the end, Ogogo didn't even win this one. Like, they had a good match. Like, I followed along, but it's like, they got to the 5-minute mark, and it's like, he's taken 3 shots already. Is he fucking Superman more than the rest of the roster? You've got one of the gun kids, the simp one. I don't know. You've got him, like, he's out injured right now because he took 3 shots from Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah. What's his face?
Yeah.
Austin Gunn. Not
Austin.
the one
There
named
you go.
Colton.
Yeah. Like, you've got Austin out injured after 3 shots, and Cody's taken 3 or 4 already, and it just keeps going.
Yeah, it's just. Did you know that
And then when I
Indiegogo has a move called Dim's Fire?
Really?
Really?
Oh my god, I love it.
They're all nerds.
Yep.
They're all nerds.
And just real quick, I liked this match even less after Dynamite last week. Was it last week? Yeah.
Yes.
After Dynamite last week, where Cody took a shot to the jaw and was out cold.
Right.
Took a shot to the jaw in this one and kept going. Like, that's not consistency.
No, it's very, very inconsistent. So, what would you give that match?
I'll give Anthony Ogogo 2 stars.
Okay, that's fair.
I want to see better. Like, he deserves to be shown better.
I want to say that was the low point of the night for me.
Yeah. On an amazing pay-per-view, that's my only real complaint. It's that one match.
Pay-per-view, that's like a mid-tier match.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty good on most other pay-per-views.
Yeah. Like, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I agree that it should have been the pre-show, but like, you can't have the American Dream Cody Rhodes bringing out that name.
Oh, God.
First of all, Dusty was called the American Dream because he came from nothing. Cody was born on third base.
Yeah.
Like, the point of him being the American Dream is that he made it. Cody is the grandson of a plumber.
Yeah.
Not the son of a plumber.
Okay. I do want to put a caveat in here, in that I know I shit on Cody a lot. I do like Cody. I think he's a wonderful wrestler. He keeps me entertained 99% of the time. But just everything about that was not great.
I think Cody puts himself in very gimmicky matches.
Yeah.
Booking this as America versus England was not a great plan.
Not at all, especially when your England actually represented his country. Like, he's an Olympic athlete.
Yeah. Well, like, there's the thing is, like, okay, my vibe check for this is that this should have been billed as Cody. If things went correctly, it should have been billed as Cody, the wealthy son of a successful wrestler, the scion,
The son of the dream.
Right, the scion who inherited what he has, versus the working class hero, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
And they probably could have had Cody still win and have it be like a start to a program.
Yeah, Megacorp Cody versus Broken Boxer. They originally started out with Cody, the turned against friend of QT Marshall, and QT Marshall's star pupil. That was a good story.
Right. Like, Cody versus the people who betrayed him.
Yep.
Good story. America versus UK, we've had that twice already. And by twice already, I mean the War for American Independence and the War of 1812.
Hey, you dealt with Canada then? The
They
British
were
didn't show for like
still-
a year and a half?
They were still part of British North America.
Not in any logistical way.
I mean, technically, when I become a citizen, I still have to swear an oath to the Queen.
Yeah.
Long
Not a
may she
fan.
rot.
But hurried up a little bit.
Yeah, not to get too deep into politics, I found out that she's used royal consent numerous times to influence laws to prevent them from looking into her taxes.
Yeah, I believe it.
And prevent them from raising her taxes and prevent them from looking at crown holdings and things like that. And it's like, maybe we need to get rid of the monarchy. I'd be fine if Canada got rid of the monarchy, but like apparently they're popular or whatever.
With boomers. Boomers love the royal drama.
Just watch wrestling.
It's better drama.
And the royals aren't despicable.
Except when they are, and then they get comeuppance.
Yes.
Anyway.
So our next match was, I thought, a very good middle of the card match between Lance Archer with Jake Roberts and Miro.
Yep, this is exactly what I need to see. You know, like not just after the Cody Ogogo match, but like in general around the mid card, this is what I really need to see to like keep me going for the rest of the show.
Yeah. I mean, like, we got to see Jake take a bump. We got a Haas off. We got big meaty men slapping meat, which is always fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. And know, they...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, they went almost 10 minutes in this thing.
Yeah.
Like, that is a long Haas match. It's awesome.
I think this match sets up Miro really well as a good monster heel, because he kind of lost that a little bit. And it's worth bringing that back. It gives Archer the start of, like, a face turn.
Yep, definitely.
Although he's been on that face turn for a while. He's still the Murder Hawk monster, but he could be the good guy Murder Hawk monster.
He's a monster face. Like,
which
you don't see that too often.
You do in this chat where we are all monster fuckers.
Not wrong.
Exactly.
Fuck.
I mean, like, to me, Lance Archer was sold as a face when he became friends with Maki Ito.
Yes.
Like, the fact that he befriended her while she was over was the, like, you know what, Lance Archer? 10 out of 10.
Yep.
12 out of 12. So, yeah, no, I mean, like, we have Miro winning with the game over.
Yep. I don't think anyone really expected to see Archer win this match.
No.
But, you know, he put in the work.
Absolutely. Okay, who do you think takes the belt off of Miro?
Oh, how long do we think he's going to hold it? If he holds it till Full Gear...
Full Gear's the last pay-per-view, right?
That's in October? Yeah. Like the first weekend of October, usually. I think Kip could do it.
My thought is that it is Jungle Boy. Or Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, if Samoa Joe comes in, I can see that.
I think it's gotta be Jungle Boy, because I don't see Jungle Boy holding the AEW title anytime soon.
No, yeah, and he's going to need something to keep momentum going after that.
And I think it's the TNT title, or whatever they rename it to if they choose to rename it.
Yep.
Or if they just rebrand it so it's not Turner Network Television themed, and they still call it the TNT title because it is Dynamite.
Yeah, no, it's still going to be the TNT title. They are talking about introducing more belts. One possibly like a generic television title. To go wherever, because they will still be doing shows on TNT like every quarter. And then everyone's hoping for those triples titles.
Oh, the trio title would be good.
Yes.
But consider, instead of a trio's belt, a trio trophy.
Trio trophy, huh?
3 trophies for the cheat.
Trophies are hard to transport is the thing.
It depends on the size of the trophy, though. Like, New Japan does trophies pretty well.
Like, well, okay, even if it's a decently sized like carry-on, trophies tend to be a little more fragile in the joints and everything.
Yeah.
So unless AEW's planning to transport that themselves with the rest of their crew gear, I wouldn't expect to see that like as a permanent thing.
That's fair.
They did medals for the women's tag team tournament.
What about Trio's giant D20s?
Then we'd have to get what the hell was their name again? Avalon and what's his name?
Oh god, the Initiative.
The Initiative, yeah. We'd have to get them back. Wish they could, Brandon Cutler's a cheating piece of shit now.
Yeah, so he'll have no problem teaming with Peter.
Yeah, and you team them up with my god, I'm forgetting everybody's name.
Cesar Bononi?
No, the other library.
Leva?
Leva. It's like L. Why am I thinking Layla? Because Layla Hirsch has a match tonight. Yes, you team them up with Leva and you got the Initiative.
There you go. Okay, so let's talk about our next match after we give this match. Oh wait, we had a tangent. What was our between match tangent again?
Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona, thank you. So what do you give this match?
This match, 3.5.
That's about right.
It was really good. It wasn't going to steal the show. They tried. They really did.
They worked really hard, but it was never going to steal the show. Because it's up against some incredible matches.
Yeah. But you know what? They went out and they had a great, hard-hitting, big guy match, and I left satisfied.
I could not complain about that match at all. So, Matt Cardona. What did Matt Cardona do this past week?
Oh, man. So, do you know how in GCW there's been a little bit of rivalry between Nick Gage and Jon Moxley?
Yep.
Yeah, Mox keeps showing up at shows and attacking Nick Gage from behind. Well, at the end of last weekend's GCW show, someone jumped in the ring with like big black cloak and hood and mask and everything. He started sauntering in like Moxley does, and he hits a paradigm shift like Moxley does. And then he takes off the hood and mask, and it's Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona?
It's the essence of sports entertainment in a GCW ring planting their champion.
And he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
By which you mean the fans at ringside who immediately started booing and throwing fingers at him?
No, because Nick Gage is stupidly over.
Oh, yeah. That was actually really cool because I saw an alternate angle from like the official show one. Like the official show one is behind Cardona as he does everything. There's a cell phone taken from the other side where you see Gage and Cardona behind him. And there's a woman jumping behind because she thinks it's Mox dressed up like everyone else does. And as soon as he pulls off the hood, she stops dead and just starts booing him. Like, yes, that's perfect.
It's so good. Oh my god, that's such a good angle for Matt Cardona. I like deathmatch wrestling.
I know you do.
I still kind of want to see what it feels like to get hit with a light tube.
I'm not doing that to you.
I'll wear a respirator. Like, I'll wear one of those painter's masks. Like the ones that go over your eyes and mouth. So I still gotta have to get it out of your hair. You can hit me over the back.
Okay, that's fair. Like I said a lot of times, I appreciate deathmatch wrestling. Some of the best storytellers come through those the deathmatch scene through
Mm-hmm.
GCW and H2O, and before that ECW and CZW and stuff. I can't stomach it. I used to be able to, and I can't anymore. But I love the guys who do it.
There's just so many good stories and so many good storytellers, and there's a lot of indie darlings who also do deathmatch stuff because it's fun. Like Effie does deathmatch work.
Yeah, he's doing a lot now.
Yeah, Alley Catch does deathmatch work. Good Alley Catch there, cat.
Matt Cardona's going to.
Matt Cardona. Aspen the Mermaid.
Yep.
There's a really cute video of her having some skewers taken out of her head after the match.
Oh god. He's right. Deathmatch wrestling either in America or Japan gave us Mick Foley and Terry Funk, two of the best storytellers in the business.
Hi.
Daw is the boy.
There's a lot that comes to us from deathmatch wrestling, though. Like, deathmatch shouldn't be underestimated or ignored. It's not just party shit. It's not just like... It's a legitimate form of wrestling and the style of entertainment that comes with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this. I'm excited for anything
those guys can do on the regular is amazing.
Oh my god, yeah. And
I'm still watching it.
They do a lot of crazy spots. They might not be the best technically, but is there...
But even then, a lot of them are.
They don't do it during the death matches, but they certainly can. Thinking about someone like Danny Havoc, who is not only just a legend of deathmatch and a legend of Jersey wrestling, but helped train new generations of wrestlers to be just incredible. There's a lot that goes through deathmatch that you don't think about, and it's worth talking about those performers as legitimate performers, not just assholes who bleed a lot.
Yeah.
Joey Janela. Okay.
Yep.
So
anyway,
now that we've got that out of the way, Erin, do you want to talk about the next match?
I do, because I've been looking forward to this one. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, against Hikaru Shida. I still wanted to see Shida win this one. I knew she wouldn't. Just the push and everything was like, yeah, we know they're going with Britt. But maybe a little bit longer with Shida.
It's funny because we felt the exact same way about Nyla.
Exactly, yes.
So, all else held equal, ceteris paribus, the women's champions do a very good job of getting themselves over.
Yep.
Even if they're not afforded a lot of opportunity by TV.
Yeah, no, they make great use of every second they have on that camera. And when you get a match like this where they're just given time and they blow it completely out of the water. I'm at a loss of words thinking about it. It's I just want to go back and watch it now.
So the article I'm using to remind myself of what happened in the match gives it a very low rating. Gives it 2.5 stars. I don't know that I watched the same wrestling event as this guy.
Did he put on an old episode of something else?
I don't know, but like, I mean, like the fisherman's neck breakers, the sling blades, the falcon arrows. It just ugh.
It was a bigger than life match. Was he watching Charlotte? No, he probably loves Charlotte. To be honest, I love Charlotte, but that's a whole different issue that has nothing to do with Charlotte's talent.
Absolutely. No, Charlotte's great. Charlotte's fine. It's, you know, how things get booked.
Yep. But yeah, Britt did come out on top on this one. I had my Sheeta shirt on and everything.
Anyway.
But yeah, they carried out like a fast match with tons of spots, and just watch it.
It was so good. I give this match a perfect 5 out of 7.
I will also give it 5 stars. Also, it was Sheeta's birthday yesterday, so happy birthday. I hope she listens. Not just because I'm gay.
Okay, so then our next match was Sting's return to in-ring work.
Yeah. Everyone was kind of a little bit afraid of how he would look after 6 years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Last time he was out, he didn't look great. Not just because of how he was booked.
But we got Scorpio Sky and Egon versus Darby Allin and Sting.
The men of the year, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And this is where we were talking about like the crowd interaction they can do now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Darby got launched into the front row.
Mm-hmm.
From the ring.
Mm-hmm. It was so much fun. And then fucking Sting hits a code red. When did Sting start doing code reds?
I mean, everyone can do them now after Dustin could.
Yeah, that's fair.
Everyone just spontaneously learned it.
I mean, like, we got the Stinger Splash. It was the Scorpion Death Drop. It's like, you know, good for Sting. I don't know that he's going to continue in-ring work for that much longer.
I don't expect him to do too many in-ring matches. More cinematic stuff than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he can still go. Like, he jumped off the stage at the beginning of it.
Yup.
And then had the rest of the match. So, yeah, Sting did get the pinfall in this one, carrying his team to victory.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, no, it was a great match. I didn't have the highest hopes for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I expected Sting to stay out of the match for a lot of it. But, you know, he was in there working just like everyone else. That's a good headlock. Now, what you want to do is you want to hook your hands like this. There you go. This is why it's called hooking. Wrestlers are hookers.
Taco, do you want food? Is that what this is about? Hey, Erin, do you want holding down the fort talking about Sting and Darby Allin for a couple more seconds so I can get Taco some food so he leaves me alone?
Sure, I can. So, yeah, no, like, it was a better match than I expected. I was very pleasantly surprised by it. And, like I said, I don't expect Sting to do regular live matches.
Nothing.
But, you know, it's good to know that when he wants to, he can go as hard as he needs in it. Now, this did lead up to the Man of the Year have challenged Darby and a different opponent, specifically not Sting. So we'll see how that ends up going. At Script OP, yep. He's as good once as he ever was. Yeah, like, so Sting is a product of that 80s to 90s turnover period where wrestling was a lot less. There was, you do more like named moves.
Okay, I'm back.
You do less like the high intensity impact stuff.
I'm gonna mute for a second.
Less of the high intensity impact stuff, and that allowed you to go a little bit longer in your career. Like, can't look at a lot of people. Like, you can look at Steamboat or Flair. You know, they didn't take huge bumps coming up. You could look at Hillbilly Jim, who has no issues except for, I don't know.
Yes, Emma, it is the holla.
Holla if you hear me. Okay, honestly, cutters and leg drops are horrible bumps to take.
Yes.
Because with a cutter, you're landing either on your side or like rolled onto your back just slightly, where you can like get all of this. And the leg drop, you're compressing your spine to hit it. Your spine, yes.
Your spine. Keep talking about movies. I gotta finish this call.
I don't know how much longer I can stretch this out, actually. So I'm going to go back and talk about Karashida again, and how I honestly hope that her input and work over the past year of the pandemic isn't forgotten in the records, because she carried a division that wasn't getting the attention it nearly deserves as someone active and there, and a face of the company even when they had that #1 contendership tournament, by going over to Japan and helping arrange all of that. That's not to say other people aren't working their asses off, but Shida was the champion this time, so we point her out because of that. So that brings us to the penultimate main event.
I forgot to unmute.
Oh no!
Shida deserves a lot of kudos.
Yes.
And a lot of respect for what she did for carrying the division for as long as she did.
Mm-hmm. So our penultimate main event here, we had the AEW champion Kenny Omega defending against Orange Cassidy and Pac. I don't care who's in this match or how long they're given. This match had no right to be that good.
It really didn't. It was just... I mean, first of all, you have Kenny Omega coming out wearing all 4 of his belts.
Looking like a complete jackass.
It's just like... There are so many moments in this match where you think, is Orange gonna take it? Is Pac gonna take it?
Orange had it twice. After hitting orange punches on everyone, Pac would break up pins, and Callis pulled the referee out of the match. There's no DQ, so you can't do anything against it.
No, it was like... I mean, like, there's the 450 splash that Pac does. I mean, like, we have Kenny Omega pulling out the Tiger Driver 98, which, like, every time Kenny Omega pulls out the Tiger Driver 98 is good.
It's exciting. It's a move that not a lot of people do.
Really. Like, it's just one of those, like, very Kenny Omega moves.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny hits Pac with the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny injures his hand on the belt.
Yup. He brought in all the belts, didn't he?
He did.
This one.
But he specifically used the AEW belt because it's the most dangerous one. It's a very sharp belt.
Yeah, it's got all those diamonds encrusted into it and the lots of plating with corners.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most expensive looking one.
It's just... It's a thing.
Yeah, no, like, you believed multiple times that any one of them could have walked away with this. Sue believes it went AAA, TNA, Impact, then AEW. That sounds about right.
sounds about right.
And yeah, no, we get to the end where Orange is trying to roll up Kenny for a
As
three count.
Aubrey is running in to take over the match.
Yep. Yes, because Kenny couldn't get Pac off of Orange Cassidy with the Brutalizer, so it was easier to kick Bryce Remsburg.
Yep. So Bryce took a bump because, you know, when Bryce is in a championship match like that, he's gonna take a bump.
It's not the worst bump he's taken. You know, he didn't get shot in this one.
No, he didn't get blown up by a grenade.
Nope.
Although he did come back from the dead when he got shot.
I mean, that doesn't negate getting shot.
No, but if he got shot in this match, in theory he could have sat up, like he did that one time, and won the match.
And we could have had a new AEW champion.
Bryce Remsburg.
I wouldn't have allowed that in AEW.
I don't think AEW would ever allow that.
Yeah, Bryce is definitely a lich.
But oh my god, that match. So yeah, no, this was a very, very exciting match.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Orange is going to be AEW champion someday.
Yep. They just kind of finalized that thought in everyone's head through this.
Can you imagine you're Greg and Dustin and you're like, hey, AEW, we just did a really good job with New Japan. Do you want to hire us? Hey, by the way, if you're looking for a guy, there's this guy named Orange who sticks his hands in his pockets. And then within 2 years, he's like challenging for the world championship and one of the most over guys in the company.
After spending a year not doing anything.
Yep. People just love Orange.
They kept him on the down low for a full year.
And like, he moves so well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you see that, like, yeah, Orange Cassidy as a gimmick doesn't do a lot. Didn't do a lot. Now he's moving. He's, like, you know, throwing down orange punches. He's like, you see Fire Ant in that.
Yep.
Rather than just Orange Cassidy.
The humble Fire Ant.
The humble Fire Ant. Long live the colony.
I will point out one last thing for this is that Orange brought out his old JanSport backpack when he was Beyond Champion.
Mm-hmm.
He fully intended to win this match.
Yep, because he keeps the championship belt in the JanSport. It's a very good callback.
I love when I notice these little things like, oh, thank you. You thought of it and I recognized it. This is wonderful.
We got a really nice after this. Okay, so Kenny Omega ends up retaining because he's not done with his belt collector bit yet. So what do you give this match?
Oh, that's an easy 5.
I give it a 5, but not a perfect 5 out of 7.
Okay.
So we get an announcement that Mark Henry is joining the AEW Rampage commentary team.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love how they're getting... Okay, so a lot of people complain that they're getting a bunch of AEW or WWE veterans, and it's just like TNA and blah, blah, blah. It's not like TNA. They're getting a bunch of veterans from the biggest national wrestling company in the world and putting them in positions where they can help the younger people in this company work on national television. And it's paid off for them.
Right, it's not a case where they're putting these people as front and center talent either.
Yep.
This is a case where they are taking some of the most knowledgeable people in wrestling who are currently not doing anything with that knowledge and giving them the opportunity to do something with that knowledge. It's that, like, Tony Khan sort of brain space where you absolutely understand that there is so many important parts of wrestling that are being ignored because one company's culture has dominated for so long. You can take someone like Jake Roberts, you could take someone like The Big Show, you could take, whatever his name is,
Paul White,
Paul Sorvino. Paul Sorvino's an actor who was in Goodfellas, Reaper the Genetic Opera, Star Trek a couple times, and a bunch of other mob movies. You could take these, like, really, really talented people who just... Dean Malenko is another example.
Yep.
Who just aren't doing anything with that talent. And you can turn that talent into more talent by fostering new, exciting wrestlers with the knowledge that exists from the veterans. And it's a good strategy. It's respectful of the people who came before you, while building on them and having them work with these new people. If each successive generation of wrestlers can get that much better, imagine what wrestling is in 20 years, 30 years. When I am 60 years old and still watching wrestling.
Because we will be. Now, for the first year that at least Dynamite was running, one of the big things I remember always thinking when I saw someone new show up is it's going to take them a while to get used to the camera, to be on that national stage, to have, 750,000 people watching you. And I would point out, I was like, yep, they look a little bit sloppy here. They're getting used to it. Wash them in a month and they clean up and you can see it happen. And that cycle has been getting so much faster now that they get all these people in and help them. Like Layla Hirsch, amazing turnaround. Ty Conti, amazing turnaround. Anna Jay, amazing turnaround.
Anna Jay is just like a generational talent, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Anna is the kind of wrestler that you talk about for decades. And she can go for decades. Like, I'm excited to see Anna come back and just continue to rise through
I can't
the world
wait to
of
see her
women's
become the
wrestling
veteran.
as she is the next great thing in women's wrestling.
And we're going to be here to see it.
We got it on the ground floor.
Oh, yeah. We saw when she had two wives.
She was the two wives.
That's what I'm going to tell my nieces and nephews when they get older. You see her? She had two wives at one point.
Auntie Erin, what do you mean? In the future, all children sound like kobolds.
Oh god, that's the worst outcome, actually. Okay, and that brings us to the main event. The cinematic Stadium Stampede, Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. The Inner Circle loses, they have to disband. So, Kat, my first question to you, how did this compare to last year's?
It was different.
Okay.
I'm not saying it was bad, but it was a different style of Stadium Stampede.
Yeah, they've definitely learned a lot about production over the past year and put it to really good use, I thought.
Absolutely. And having the match finish in the ring was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, that cut where it goes from the pre-recorded Jericho and MJF in the back to coming out into the live stadium and keep going. And then Sammy and Sean Spears coming into the live stadium from the parking lot, and it was so beautifully put together.
It really was. I'm just thinking like important moments. I think I preferred the first Stadium Stampede because it had a little bit more of an air of whimsy to it.
Yeah, definitely. This was much more serious.
This was a feud. I guess it's different matches for different times.
Yes.
That side, we do know that the Pinnacle will stay together and will be the winners of the next Stadium Stampede in a year. So that's good to know.
Yep. Sean Spears is going to get the pin next year.
Yep. That's how it works.
Sammy got the pin this year. I popped so loud for Sammy. It's like, oh, I love him so much. I'm so glad he got this.
Yeah, it was. So it was exciting.
Yeah, they paired off exactly as you thought they would. I loved the little part where they do that cut and fade into Sean Spears in just a storage room of chairs.
He's like practically coming in his pants.
Like, I had the idea like that like a couple weeks before. It's like, I really hope they do this. I'm going to keep my mouth shut in case they don't and I jinx it. But they did, and I was so happy.
It was good.
Yeah,
it was good. So yeah, it was overall a very good pay-per-view.
One of the best that they've put on.
We say that about most of their pay-per-views.
I know, it just keeps getting better.
Except that one that was a real stinker. Which one was that one? Was that Full Gear last year where Matt Hardy took some brain damage?
I think so. Yeah, no. That one wasn't so great. But you know what? It wasn't not great because of the people involved. It wasn't not great because of accidents.
Yeah,
accidents happen.
Accidents happen, and it had some issues, but I mean, okay, we had champion Jon Moxley at the time taking on Eddie Kingston
in a great match.
In the I Quit match, which was iconic.
Yep.
You have FTR lose the title to the Bucks,
which everyone saw coming a mile away, really.
Yeah. You have the World Eliminator Tournament, Kenny versus Hangman, which was intense.
But I remember that one feeling almost intentionally lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Hangman was not on Kenny's level at all. That's so he can build up to it.
Oh, no, it wasn't Full Gear, because that Full Gear was the Elite Deletion.
Yeah, so it would be the one before that? Or after that?
What comes before Full Gear? All In?
All Out?
All Out. Okay, let's talk about All Out then. Oh, that was the Mimosa Mayhem match.
That was a lot of fun. Weird gimmick, but a lot of fun. Got Orange Cassidy on everyone's radar, finally.
That was... All Out was where Kenny and Hangman lost the tag titles.
In a heartbreaking match.
Mox versus MJF. It was just...
a lot of fun.
It was just an okay card. I mean, like, it's a card that was deeply soured by the fact that they let Matt Hardy continue that match.
Yeah, no, it was a bad call in the moment. And yeah, no, unfortunately, that's just what happens sometimes.
Yep. You can't always make perfect calls, you know?
See, the difference between missing a spot on the top rope and missing a spot on a scissor lift,
Skyjack.
on a skyjack, is about 10 feet.
Yeah.
That 10 feet makes a lot of difference.
I mean, like, if you just go by Star Wars rules, right?
Yep.
Every 10 feet of falling is an extra, like, 5 unblockable damage.
Yeah.
And you just...
You don't have that many hit points in Star Wars.
You do not. What do you think a good buy rate for an...
Like a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Good buy rate. 15,000?
Like, 15,000 people purchase the pay-per-view?
Yeah. Like,
I think that's far too low.
I'm thinking like actual pay-per-view, not like Bleacher Report. And
Oh no, I'm
fight.
thinking like Bleacher Report.
Okay. 75?
I think it's probably closer to like 100, 150 for AEW.
Oh, I thought you had it pulled up.
No, I can pull it up. Okay. Buy rate on Double or Nothing was somewhere between 135,000 and 150,000 people.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, my guess was still short for like all of them, except for All In, years and years ago.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So
I never really look up these.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to track how these things go. I mean, first of All Out this year is going to be their first non-Dailies Place pay-per-view,
which will be very exciting. And it's in Chicago, which is a big wrestling town.
They're in a arena with like a 10,000 person capacity.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but we got a lot of time and a lot of storylines to get through before that.
Yes, we do.
Oh, is there anything else we wanted to cover here?
Just an overall show rating.
Overall, 5.5.
I'd give it like a 4.5.
Okay.
But good show. Like, it's solid B+ show.
Yeah, no, like I said, my only complaint was Cody and Ogogo. I talked about why. I'm not going to go into it again. And
I'm Oki.
Yeah. Hi, Moki. Yeah, no, I had a great time watching it, and not just because of the fans, and not just because the people we're watching with. It was just a solid show in and of itself.
Absolutely. So, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about while we were here?
I have a couple recommendations, and that's about it for me.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pull these up. So it is Pride Month. So I want to give a little bit of visibility to a wrestler that didn't get to be out for his career. Unlike we have now with a lot of people, like we have a boom of LGBT plus wrestlers.
You could just say queer, Erin. It saves you so many syllables.
I know, and I get tongue-tied on it every time, actually. We have a lot of queer wrestlers now that we can kind of take for granted.
I agree.
So I'm posting up 2 matches from Chris Kanyon, who was a gay man who was closeted for almost his entire career, and unfortunately did take his own life at the end of it. The first one we got is Ultimo Dragon and Chris Kanyon from an episode of, was this Heat or Velocity? I think, yeah, it was Heat from Sunday Night Heat, and Perry Saturn versus Chris Kanyon from Monday Nitro. He's great. Like, especially in the Perry Saturn one, like he does an Adplex 23 years before it was named. He was very innovative with his style and just never really got the dues that he was owed.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, without those who came before, we have no opportunity to celebrate those who are here now.
Yep.
So we celebrate both and just hope for the best.
I think that's it, Kat.
Okay, in that case, hold on, I'm getting a call. Erin, do you want to end the show?
Okay. I'll let you know that thank you for coming. It's been great seeing you all. We look forward to you next time. Be gay, do crimes, pow! Marking Out with My Girlfriend is a production of Soses Media. Check us out at soses.ca. Music has been provided by Sounds Like an Earful.
Hey, Erin. Hey, Erin. Is that a giant can of the blood orange flavored San Pellegrino?
No.
Or is that alcohol? It's a Molson Canadian. Erin, have you no shame?
Right now, no, because I think you took it all and then threw it out.
I fucking...
This is the
consumed it
storyline
like-
of the podcast, by the way.
I consumed it like Cronus with the Greek gods.
Yep.
And eventually your shame will burst out of me and start the Titanomachia.
Fucking hot.
What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know, and I'm here.
You're part of the conversation. I started this conversation and I don't understand it.
But really, Marking Out with My Girlfriend has a storyline, and this is the storyline. You'll have to go back through all the other episodes to figure it out.
There's little hints. If you act as a holistic detective, you'll be able to eventually pick up on exactly why Erin is a neck drug aficionado.